Week 16 Monday Night Football. Can't believe I'm going to say this in damn near 2026, but Phillip Rivers and the Indianapolis Colts hosting the 49ers. And we'll certainly talk about Phil Rivers and what we do when we even think about beginning to bet an Indianapolis Colts game at this point. We'll get to what is the best bet for this game and much, much more. Ninja here with Nick Holz. Welcome to the channel. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. And let us know your favorite bet for this one in the comments section below. Nick, Phillip Rivers, they just about won last week's game where, he rolled off the sofa to take control of an offense for the first time in 5 years. But it wasn't, all sunshine and roses. 2 of 8 pass attempts over 10 air yards last week. But, how do we even go about betting a Phillip Rivers-led team in 2025?
Well, Dan Gummit, Grandpa Rivers can still toss the pigskin a little bit out there. He was brushing off the years and looking like his younger self throwing the football at times. I know he couldn't really get the ball down the field with any oomph, but some of his just football IQ really showed through in the game as well. The easy answer here is to bet the under, of course. 4 of the last 6 Colts games have hit the under, obviously with Danny Jones a little banged up and Shane Steichen realizing that the Colts need to control the football and control the clock. And that's what we saw last week as well. 29 rushing plays and just 27 passes attempted. Obviously 25 rushes for Jonathan Taylor, even though he only averaged 3.5 yards per carry. And that's going to be the Colts manifesto moving forward. Control the football, run the football, and control the clock.
And, midweek we're sitting here, but Indy +6 at home, of course, the total 46.5. And I agree, it feels like a few points at least too high. The under is -118. So that's not going to hold for too much longer, I wouldn't suspect. We'll get to your game pick in a moment here, but knowing what we know about him, Phil Rivers, and, not really racking up impressive box score in game one, do you think bettors literally just bet the under on all Colts wide receiver, tight end receiving props in this one? You think of Pierce, Pittman, Tyler Warren, Downs. Should we all just hammer unders this week or what?
Yeah, you'd think that after watching the offensive performance last week. Only 215 total yards, but of course that came against the NFL's maybe their best defense in the entire league, right? But I wouldn't blindly just bet that either, because with a total of 46.5, sportsbooks obviously expect there to be some scoring, which would involve some explosive passing plays. And we've seen the likes of Tyler Warren obviously break big passes down the field this season. You can see a Josh Downs or even a Jonathan Taylor break a screen pass as well. So be careful on those. And also, when I was talking about Phillip Rivers' football IQ, last week there was a play where he sniffed out the blitz, saw that a linebacker would have to drop to replace a safety in coverage, and winged the football behind the linebacker's head because he understood that linebacker would have to flip his hips to make a play on the ball. That's a veteran play that you just don't see from a lot of young quarterbacks anymore. That's a play by a quarterback, a cerebral play that, honestly, a lot of these young guys just don't have. So having said that, he will make plays that still kind of shock you, even though he's 44 and, just coming off coaching high school football.
Yeah, he does have an element to him, a savvy vet, a guy that has had a pretty solid career, but he has those unquantifiable savvy, football IQ, like you say, to his game, which some of the opponents, haven't really seen from quarterbacks that they've played. And this might be a spot here. So we'll get to your pick in a moment, but, if Rivers can keep his team competitive against, like you said, one of the NFL's elite defenses, like last week, where, he just did enough to keep the Colts in the mix, surely he has a better night at home against a worse defense in this 49ers team. And you can share your thoughts, if you have any, about maybe hammering some Phillip Rivers passing props in this one. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm not sure on his passing props right yet. After he only threw for 120 yards last week, I'm not ready to go there. But at the same time, he should be far more comfortable after getting hit like he did last week, just playing in a real-time NFL game and just absorbing that speed after so much time off. He should be much more in the flow and get a better feel of the offense as well moving forward here, and also get to know some more of the pieces he's got around him, because as I said, Michael Pittman and Jonathan Taylor were in Indianapolis when Phillip Rivers was there back in 2020, but he obviously hasn't played with guys like Tyler Warren, guys like Downs, guys like Alec Pierce down the field, who I know the Colts would love to have involved. But I think we're going to see some creative ways that Shane Steichen, finds a way to get the football in his playmakers' hands. Phillip Rivers can still do it efficiently, and of course, without having to throw the football probably more than 15, 20 yards down the field.
Let me ask you this. Are the San Francisco 49ers going a bit under the radar right now? We're going into week 16. They're 10-4 going into the week, sort of being overshadowed in that division, deservedly, considering it's the Rams and the Seahawks, as good as they've been this season. But could the Niners maybe make a little bit of noise in the playoffs? They're 22-1 in Super Bowl markets. They're 10-1 for the NFC. I potentially see a little bit of betting value there.
Yeah, one of the least talked about 10-win teams in the NFL, 12th in DVOA, and we obviously are well aware of what Kyle Shanahan can cook up offensively and accomplish with this team, and especially he's done so this season with most of his receiving core hurt and with a backup quarterback in there as well. So kudos to Shanahan and his offensive staff, and also hats off to the defensive staff as well, who has put forth at least a competitive unit without Nick Bosa, without Fred Warner, and a couple of their other playmakers along the front seven too. So, this is a team that I think in the right situation can win a playoff game. But again, without top receiver Brandon Ayuk to beat man coverage in the postseason against some of the better defenses, without the quarterback of their defense in Warner, and of course their best pass rusher in Bosa to close games, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree, just given some of the injuries that we've seen with this team. And like you said, Shanahan's got these 49ers probably punching a little bit above their weight, a little bit above their 10-4 record. And I talked to Ian McMillan on our Thursday Night Football preview about Coach of the Year market. But what do you think about maybe Kyle Shanahan at plus 750?
I just think it's such a media-driven award these days, right? If they were to somehow come back and win the NFC West, that's a great shout right there. But Shanahan, even in his best years, has basically barely gotten a shout to win that award. So without them winning, winning out and somehow finding a way to, absolutely shoot themselves up the NFC standings, I don't see that one. I feel like even Sean McVay and Mike Macdonald in the division probably have a better shout than Shanny right now.
And Mike Macdonald, number 2 on the odds board at plus 450 right now. Liam Cohen as well, plus 450. Crazy, but an interesting betting market here, as we go into week 16. And we'll get your game pick here in a moment. But folks, don't go through a busy sports betting December without Prop Professor. And for the holiday season, you can get Prop Professor for 50% off for the first month right now. You can get hundreds of plus EV bets every day. And Prop Professor gives you a real shot at finding long-term profit. You can sort through plays across the NFL, across college football, and of course, plenty more leagues. There is a great arbitrage tool here. There's a great fantasy optimizer in here as well. Easily the best bang for buck on the market compared to its competition. So use the promo code SHARK50 at checkout to get 50% off for that first month. All right, Nick, we talked a lot about some different betting angles in this one, but let's get your thoughts on your official game pick here. As we sit here midweek, Indianapolis and Phillip Rivers, 6-point home underdogs here. Total is 46.5. We agree that is potentially a bit too high as we sit here now, but like I said, the under's minus 118. So if you folks at home are thinking about the under, you better hop on ASAP. Moneyline markets, Indy plus 235. The Niners coming back at minus 290 on the road here. But what do you like for this one, Nick?
Yeah, I'm on the under 46.5. I think this total is at least 3 points too high, if not more, to be honest. And I think it closes at something like in the 42 to 44 range, to be honest with you. The Colts have played a ball control style offense for the past month. The under is hitting 4 of their last 6 games already, and we don't know how far down the field Philip Rivers can even throw the football. On the flip side, Christian McCaffrey is now banged up with a back injury, popped up late last week on the injury report. And of course, the 49ers offense, not the most explosive unit in the NFL, even at their fully healthy best. So I love this underplay here at 46.5 for Monday night.